than that. Hello, Radio Heartline. You want to be on the air?
Hi. I just...
Right, and you called back, so we put you back on the air. So, can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Let me see, 1 second. Hello, are you there?
I am.
Oh, okay. So, and there's the big question. Do you use the, you called back, thank you. I forgot that question. Oh, nobody asked that. So do you find yourself using the hypnosis, other than anymore at all?
I did. I'm not using it quite as much now. Unfortunately, I was actually thinking about the other day that I wish I could just take like 5 seconds of my life and do that. But I did it a lot initially for nursing because I would get a little bit stressed and anxious about nursing, and sometimes it can be a little bit.
Why is it so? What did you find stressful and anxious? Having never nursed, I can't really relate to this. Enlighten me.
Well, and I think it's a common thing. I think for new moms, nursing is. I'm still breastfeeding my son. I am a huge supporter of it, but it can be a difficult thing to start, and it can, in a way, it is the most natural thing, but it can sort of, it sometimes to start doesn't feel very natural. It's difficult. You're in pain. You have to relax, but you're really tense because you have this baby who never sleeps and needs to eat and is crying and stuff. And so the more tense you are, I think the more difficult it is, and it's harder for the baby to latch on.
Sounds a little bit like birthing.
Yeah. But your child feeds off your energy. I mean, you're their guide to the world, and so if you're tensed up, they're going to be tensed up, and so I would use that. I would use self-hypnosis to try to just to slow my breathing down, to calm myself down, and I like to think that my son picked up on some of it. Probably didn't, but...
Well, look, thank you very much for calling back, and maybe you should consider using it. I'm getting another call I'm going to take at this point, so
okay.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Did you want to be on the air? I'm going to put you on the air, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Can you, caller, can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Hello, can you hear me, caller?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Did you have a question for Tammi or Stephanie? I didn't get your name, by the way. If you'd like to
my name's Bridget.
Hello, Bridget. And Bridget, do you have a question for my guest tonight?
I hear you're talking about home birth.
We are most certainly talking about home birth and hypnotherapy. Have you, by any chance, do you have any children yourself?
Yeah, I just had a home birth about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. For a moment, I thought you were going to say like 6 hours ago. So, wow. 6 weeks ago. Oh. And was this your first home birth?
Yep, my first birth and my first home birth.
Awesome. Oh, wow. Awesome. Wow. And are you calling up to tell people never to do this, or what are your feelings about it at this time?
Sorry, what?
What are your feelings about having given birth at home?
Oh, yeah, the home birth went great. No complications, wonderful birth. I feel great.
And what room did you do it in?
What room?
Yeah.
The living room.
The living room. So if someone asked you where you had your kid, are you going to say the living room?
Yeah, well, I had a birth tub, and that was the biggest room.
Oh, I see. And so you did do the water. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of position did you get in to do this?
I was actually sitting down.
All right. Sort of like in an easy chair kind of position, leaning back?
What now?
So were you sort of leaning back, or, was it like in a lawn chair sort of position?
Yeah, I was leaning back. I was leaning against my husband.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't the best position to do it in, but it felt better at the time. It's not the best position, normally squatting or something is better for the baby and everything, but when you're in labor, you just kind of go with what position you go with.
Did you use the self-hypnosis in your birth?
What was that?
Did you use self-hypnosis in your birth?
I actually did use a form of hypnosis. I didn't actually do any training or studying in that. I read about meditation, and I meditated through the pregnancy. I would hold an ice cube in my hand and concentrate on that pain and meditate. And so I actually meditated during my birth, and I would kind of wake up during the contractions, but it helped so much with the stress level and the pain and everything.
Stephanie, have you ever heard of anybody using an ice cube as a meditation tool?
I think I've heard of that, but I don't know how common it is to. I mean, I think she was conditioning herself to maintain, during a certain level of discomfort, being able to relax into that. So it's one method, but not that common, I would think.
I never took any classes. I started out, I would get into bed and relax at the end of the day and feel that nice comfort of getting into a warm bed, and I would start meditating that way, and I actually introduced levels of discomfort to myself and see if I could meditate away the pain. And I did completely, by the end of my pregnancy, I could hold an ice cube in my hand for 90 seconds and not know it was there.
Wow.
I would go into a deep meditation.
Good.
Oh. Well, that's really interesting. That's very dynamic. Did you have a doula, or who did you have with you other than your husband?
I had a doula. I had a magnificent doula. I love her to death, named Betty Sheets.
Wow. This is very interesting. People aren't halfway about their doulas and midwives.
Yeah.
She was okay. No one said that.
No. Well, they're never okay. They're always amazing, aren't they? And then I had an amazing midwife.
Well, I like the doctors that brought my children in. They're interesting people, but you know what? I don't have the same feeling about them that I'm hearing about these midwives.
No.
It was a different...
Midwives hold your hand and rub your back. You never see your doctor rub your back.
No.
Until that happens, you're not going to hear them say they love their doctors.
It just seems to be a different. See, we're getting emails here at the same time. It seems to be just a different experience completely. So this is your first child. Are you thinking? Do you think you'll do this again then?
Oh yeah. I'm going to have all my babies at home, if God willing. If everything goes okay, I'm going to have all my babies at home.
Wow. And if you don't mind me asking, how old? Well, sure you don't mind me asking, but if you don't mind answering, how old are you?
I'm 22.
All right. We've been waiting. We've had all these mothers who are over 30. It's about time. 22. Wow.
22.
Well, this is quite an adventure then. You're just a baby yourself.
Well, I got married at 19, so I've done everything young.
Wow. Well, you waited to have your first child, so that was a fine thing. And my mother and her sisters all had their first kid at 19, so you waited.
Did they? Yeah.
Well, of course, there was a different time. Mothers had children earlier then. And so did you find out, did you ever consider having the kid in the hospital, or?
I'm afraid of hospitals, so that kind of put it out of my mind. Yeah, I don't go. I could be bleeding. I wouldn't go to the hospital. I never go. My husband actually convinced me to do a home birth because I knew we were planning a hospital birth, and he knew if I went into labor, I just wouldn't go.
So I figured.
Yeah, he said, you better have someone come to the house because you ain't going to go.
Now, do you know of your mother? What kind of birth did your mother give for you?
My mother had 3 children naturally.
Really?
Yes, she did. And her last child, my little brother, she actually had at home because she didn't think the pain was that bad and didn't want to go to the hospital, and so she accidentally had him at home. Whoops.
Wow. And so your mother must have been very comfortable with you doing this, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, she's very supportive.
Well, and how old was your mother when she had you?
I believe she was 26.
26, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so do you feel special, how do you feel, do you feel this has brought you and your mother closer together?
I
well, on one hand I do, but I feel closer to all women who've had children this way, because